He's an introvert. He
Elon
comes
Musk
out.
contacts
Yeah,
Kyle.
calls Kyle. And then he's like, hey, I heard that you guys got kicked off Twitter. Is that true? And Kyle's like, yes, Mr. Musk, it is true.
Mr. Musk.
Yeah. And so
yes,
he's like,
Mr. Musk.
So long pause. After that, Elon Musk goes, I might have to do something about this.
Let me see if I have 44 billion in my spare account.
My couch.
You're a man of Christian faith who does a lot of comedy. Why do you suppose much of the world has this wrong-headed view that serious faith can't go along with being seriously funny?
I'm examining that right now. I have Frank Turek.
During the show?
Right now, we're talking about it. I just am thinking
I don't
about
see
it.
Frank Turek.
I'm thinking about it right now.
No, he's a friend. Is he exploring this with you?
Yeah, so we're talking. So I started to write a book on called gosh, I don't know if I should say this, but it's why Jesus mocked people and when should you? And so that's the name of the book.
Wow.
And so
you're actually writing that now?
I'm writing that book
during
right
this
now.
show?
Right now.
Could you just focus on the show and stop writing and doing what you do?
I'll put this away.
So you're writing a book,
Yeah.
Why Jesus Mocked People.
And when should you?
And when should you?
A guide. Yeah. So,
I love this.
Yeah. No,
Will it be out soon? I'm already excited about interviewing you about that book.
No, I'm excited about it too. But I want. So the problem is I've faced a lot of backlash mostly from the Christian community, and in particular the kind of progressive Christian community that have come sort of like, I guess, after me for being so, I don't know.
For having biblical values?
Well, I think it's having biblical values and then making fun of their sort of anti-biblical values. I think that's the big issue, because we mock a lot of ideas, and then sometimes people kind of get rolled up in the ideas. One of the headlines that I got passed through is let me see if I can get it right. It was who's the prophet again? Isaiah. Who's the one? Who's
that prophet?
I'm in the middle of that. I'm in the middle of a show, and I can't remember the prophet's name. It's not Ezekiel. It's.
I'm pretty sure you're talking about Paul Cain.
It's the one. It's the one that the prophets of Baal.
A Man of Grace.
Wait a minute. This is so embarrassing. Isaiah. The man. Elijah. There it is. I'm an idiot. Elijah, Eric. Elijah. So Elijah mocked by Israel. No. Elijah criticized by Israel for unloving satire of the prophets of Baal. That was the headline. That was the headline. So that's basically what I felt like at the time.
But that's a great reminder.
Yeah.
That one of the great heroes of the Scripture mocked the prophets of Baal. Not that progressive Christians are all like the prophets of Baal, just most of them.
Yeah, they also like worship Moloch too.
I forgot.
So you got to remember, not just Baal.
Yeah.
Not just hedonism.
So, but you know what? No kidding. On the one hand, I'm not surprised. On the other hand, typically it would be like the more religious, fundamentalist types of believers that you would think would push away from humor. But you're telling me that the progressive Christians are the ones that are more upset by the Babylon Bees satire. That's a fascinating concept to me.
It is. Well, I think just by being a progressive, which is a religion, I think they have no sense of humor. It kind of removes the humor. I think Christians, if you're really solid in your faith, I think if you know what the Scripture is, you can have a good sense of humor. There's no reason why you can't, because it's not your truth. You don't have to it's not me. It's not my truth. It's God's truth, and I don't have to defend. I don't have to be offended by you. It just doesn't matter,
Well, the reason it's so hard for me to shut up during this interview is because I agree with you, and you and I have so much similarity in this, and it's so rare to talk to somebody who does comedy and is serious about their faith. And I that's one of the reasons, again, I'm just so proud of what you guys are doing at the Babylon Bee and just cheering you on. It's amazing, and it's satire. It's social commentary. I mean, what you guys did with your Satan sketch, that's social commentary.
Oh yeah, I play Satan. I play the alien. I play the British guy. There's all these where we can comment on different things in culture. The alien had a conversation with Joe Biden, and just how ridiculous it was. And he's like, "Is this really going on right now? This is your leader, So you say that kind of stuff, and people that really are big, that
Excuse
think you
me, but
shouldn't be mocking.
That's funny.
It's very funny.
The idea that the alien would say, "Take me to your leader," and then go, "Wait a minute,
Yeah. Wait, this is your leader?
this doesn't seem right."
Ah. Yeah, and then we just did one where the alien discovers genders this week, so that'll be coming out soon.
Holy guacamole!
Yeah.
So, what does your average day look like?
Oh, yeah.
You live in the LA area, and what do you do? Do you go into the office every day, or how does that work?
Yeah, so we have a studio pretty close to where I live. So
That's what I meant by office.
Yeah, it's an office studio, and I
Yeah.
go in there, and so on Mondays generally we kind of decide if there's anything that we can really satirize that week, and if there's a really good concept, then we start to produce. And so I produce, so I bring all the disparate pieces together to try to make the sketch happen. So like that's kind of my job. And then I cast, and I do that kind of stuff too with Kyle, obviously. So I cast it, and so there's a lot of things that I do. And so every day is a little bit different. Sometimes I'm writing a budget for a show we're talking about doing. Sometimes I'm writing sometimes we're writing a sketch together. It kind of flows with the news cycle too. So like we respond to the news cycle.
And
depending.
obviously, you guys were knocked off of Twitter.
Yeah.
When we come back, I want to talk about that, because what we're talking about is ultimately really serious. The idea that you guys are producing satire, brilliant satire, and that the Marxist overlords can't handle it. Kind of like the progressive Christians who are in bed with the Marxist overlords. We'll be right back. Hey there, folks. If you enjoy this video and want to see more interviews like this one, make sure to subscribe to my channel. Please just hit the subscribe button below. Click the notification bell so you don't miss new content every single week. 90% of you who watch are not subscribed, and you could be in the first 100,000 subscribers to my channel. I would love that. Please subscribe. God bless you. So you were just explaining kind of like what your life looks like being a producer of comedy, and then we were just going to talk about the Twitter ban.
Yeah.
This is how you guys at the Babylon Bee got friendly with Elon Musk.
Yes.
Have you met Elon Musk?
Personally, I've not met him. Yeah, so I didn't go to the interview recently. We just had another interview with him, and he.
Where is he? Like,
he's
is he in the desert with his rockets?
Yeah, probably. He might be on Mars. We don't know.
Yeah.
But he's in San Francisco, I think, most of the time, and then probably globetrots, I imagine.
You think he globetrots?
He is a billionaire,
Yeah, I've heard about that.
Yeah, yes.
So
he's a billionaire.
But tell the story if people, because there are people that are
Yeah.
unfamiliar with kind of how you and he kind of connected. I mean, you meaning the Babylon Bee
Yeah.
guys, and he connected, and Twitter.
So we had put out a joke. If you know who, so this is the other thing. We write jokes for the internet. I don't know if you guys know that. But we put out this joke about Rachel Levine, who is the Director of Health and Human Services in the Biden administration, a very powerful person. And he had just received the...
You mean the man who looks like a
Rachel.
meter maid, who's like dressed up as a meter... John Zmirak always says this on the program, the
Yeah,
meter
that's right.
maid.
He looks like a meter maid.
But it's the transgender person wearing some kind of military
Yeah.
clothing and like a fright wig, like a Bruce Vilanch kind of wig.
Yeah, the hair looks like Twisted Sister. Yeah, honestly, yeah, it's all...
D. Snyder.
D. Snyder. It's all kind of, it's very disturbing. He looks like a 6th grade teacher. But all this to say, we put out this joke that, because USA Today had just given him the Woman of the Year after having been a woman for a couple of months. And
USA Today?
Yeah, it was a USA Today article that just...
I did not remember that.
Woman of the Year. It was an award that they gave him.
Okay.
And so I guess they give the Woman of the Year every year. I don't know if they give it to Rachel Levine or Dylan Mulvaney this year, or Leah Thomas, but they probably gave it to one of them, one of those people.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we put out, it was a really low-hanging fruit, super easy joke. We gave him our Babylon Bee Man of the Year award.
Oh, I see what you did there.
Yeah. The Man of the Year.
Yeah.
Because that dude didn't care. He dressed however he wanted to. And so we ended up... So Twitter kicked us off within, I guess, a couple of hours, and demanded that we apologize. And Seth Dillon, being the sort of like recalcitrant.
Seth Dillon is
rebel.
the what? What is
So
his?
Seth Dillon's our CEO.
Okay, no, I was going to say he's the CEO. He's the dude who runs the Babylon Bee.
That's right.
He's the no-nonsense businessman who makes
Yeah.
the nonsense possible.
Yes.
And he's not going to put up with this garbage.
No.
Because he's a tough guy.
He's a tough guy.
And he says, "Excuse me." So what happened?
They demanded an apology, and Seth Dillon said, "Absolutely not. We're not apologizing and saying that we engaged in hateful conduct, because truth is not hate speech." and so anyway, so then they're like, "Well, then you can't have your account back until you apologize. You have to bend the knee and submit to our ideology."
Okay,
or
so
else
this
we're
is
not
how
gonna
long
change."
ago? 2 years ago?
This was a year and a bit. Yeah, so it was like last March.
What?
And then all this to say, within a week, Elon Musk calls Kyle because they had interviewed him before. So Kyle Mann is our editor-in-chief. He's the guy, basically, he's the creative genius. He really is. He's a brilliant guy. And
I know
anyway,
Kyle.
Yeah,
And
great guy.
he's not that smart. But no, but I mean,
It's just 'cause he's an introvert, he
Elon
comes
Musk
out.
contacts
Yeah,
Kyle.
calls Kyle. And then he's like, "Hey, I heard that you guys got kicked off Twitter. Is that true?" And Kyle's like, "Yes, Mr. Musk, it is true."
Mr. Musk.
Yeah. And so
Yes,
he's like,
Mr. Musk.
So long pause. After that, Elon Musk goes, I might have to do something about this.
Let me see if I have
within
44 billion in my spare account.
my couch. Yeah, that's where he found it.
In a
Yeah.
coffee can.
In a coffee can.
under the
Yeah.
in a crawl space in his home.
In the closet.
Yeah.
Yeah, in one of those cans. Yeah, so anyway, he called us and said, "Hey, and so within a week he had bought Twitter, like within 2 weeks. And then the whole process you guys probably watched on the news, it went through escrow, they did all these things, finally went through, and then he called us that night at 4 o'clock in the morning, as soon as it closed. He called us at 4 o'clock in the morning and said, "Hey, you guys want back on Twitter?" And so that took him a little while.
You should have said, "Nah."
Yeah, right.
Just to play with his head.
Yeah.
Who gets the opportunity to
Yeah.
play with Musk's head for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Like, "No, bro, we're good," and hang up.
Yeah. See, these are the questions. I always think about that because Seth's dealing with all these really high, powerful people, and I don't know how he does it. It's always like it's a real gentle game you have to play with these guys. Like, I don't know. You don't want to do anything that's gonna like really make them mad.
Don't you?
Sort of. I mean, depends on what they believe.
Look, Seth is a very smart businessman.
He is.
So obviously he's
Yeah.
not going to crack a stupid joke.
Yeah.
But what an extraordinary story.
It's incredible. Well, and then he told us in the interview, which was about a month ago, he told us, "I actually bought Twitter for you." He tells us this. So Seth got
pressure.
So he got a Post-it, and he wrote out, "I owe you 44 billion," and he handed it to me. He goes, "We're good for this." It's just, and so that's the Musk story.
What does this
That's-
say about
yeah.
Elon Musk? Because I
Yeah.
don't know a ton about him, except that he wants to bring us all to Mars.
Yeah.
Right before the rapture.
That's right.
What do you suppose it is that had him following the Babylon Bee? He's not a Christian.
He's not, and he's really not, and I think.
What do you mean he's really not?
Well, I mean,
he's extra unsaved.
Well, you know how we. I guess there's Christians. He's probably closer to being a Christian than some Christians I know, but I would say.
Let's name them.
Yeah. Let's see. What's his name? I'm missing it.
No, please.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. Yeah, but I basically think that Elon Musk is a free speech absolutist and believes that in order for us to have a healthy society, free speech is absolutely necessary.
But was he following the bee
Yeah.
before? That's what I'm trying to say. Like, why was he
Yeah.
following the bee? Because you could be into free speech and not follow the Babylon Bee.
I'd have to look at why or which post he started liking, because he started liking our
Yeah.
posts. Like all of a sudden it was like, oh, that's funny. He would do a little happy face.
Well, why wouldn't he retweet it? Why
Emoji.
would he just like it?
Every once in a while he would. Like that's the other thing. Like
I
he
don't
started
understand why
retweeting.
people like stuff. Why don't they just retweet it?
I don't know. They have power.
Can you tell that I'm angry about this?
Why don't you just retweet me?
I'm having
is
too
what you're
much
saying.
fun. Jarret LeMaster is my guest. Babylon Bee is the subject. Humor, Jesus. We'll be right back. What you were just talking about, free speech, it seems to me that comedy, this is going back to court jesters, right? That truth tellers and comedians, those things always go together. There's something about comedy that inevitably is about speaking truth, often uncomfortable truths. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think all the best comedians are truth tellers. Even if you don't agree with them, if you don't think that they're people you'd like to listen to, especially as Christians, you have to be careful what you listen to. But the best
No
ones,
red fox until you're 18.
yeah, Bill Burr, telling the truth. Dave Chappelle, he's starting to tell the truth. It's now a current trend that people are starting to stand up. But you got places like The Onion that used to be really, really funny. I remember like 10, 15 years ago, I used to love The Onion. And then they started getting really progressive, and they stopped telling the truth. They just started telling one political, and it's like Jimmy Fallon or Jimmy Kimmel. Those guys, it's like they call up the DNC and they're like, hey, guys, what are the talking points tonight? And Hillary's like, okay, you can talk about abortion, you can talk about the vaccine. And it's like, Colbert used to be really funny, and then started having all these like sacred cows that they can't tear down. And comedians are supposed to be people that are sort of iconoclasts when it comes to culture. You're supposed to just destroy the icons, like tear down the sacred cows, like tear down Molech, whatever it is. Don't allow, people to, I don't know. I just think for me, that's the reason why people aren't as funny as they used to be. The Babylon Bee is now sort of an equal opportunity mocker, satirist site. Yeah. And so that's the reason why it works as comedy. I rarely think The Onion's funny anymore. Sometimes they are.
Yeah.
Sometimes they are. But, these
But isn't that
these
amazing
guys,
that could happen?
Yeah.
The chilling effect.
The chilling.
Well, it's like they become propagandists.
They do. They get bought. Yeah.
Well,
we got to be careful of that too.
And maybe it's because, well, everyone does, right?
Yeah,
But it's because there was a time when I was a kid, liberals were making fun of the kind of traditional establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And that went on for decades. But then they became the establishment.
Mm-hmm.
And at some point, especially recently, they became so much the establishment that suddenly they couldn't, they couldn't make fun of stuff anymore because they were the ones in power.
Yeah, it's punk rock to be a conservative right now.